The Podfather.
The Podfather.
Nice.
My daughter gave me that one. Well, it's probably her mom picked it and paid for it and ordered it, but she gave it to me, and that's what's important.
That's what is important.
So, Doctor, we meet again.
Yes, we do.
We've got this whole sub-series going on now that we're going to start right now.
Yeah?
High strangeness in Arizona.
Seems like a hot spot for high strangeness.
It's pretty...
Unbeknownst to me before, a couple days ago, last week or whatever.
So before we get started, I saw this video with Ben Affleck and John Bernthal. You know who John Bernthal is?
No.
The actor. He plays the Punisher. And
oh, okay.
They're playing this game called the Goat Game. They have all these cards, and it's like the goat whatever, and then each of us just gives a quick answer. I thought it'd be a cool little warm up.
Okay.
Get your creative juices flowing. So we'll just take turns.
Okay.
Well, I mean, we both answer, but take turns reading the card. Ready? Goat movie franchise.
Franchise?
Mm-hmm.
Nightmare on Elm Street, dude.
Not where I thought you were going to go with that, but okay.
What is it for you?
It's not my favorite, but I'll go with Star Wars.
Star Wars was an easy one. I thought I'd throw a little bit of a fucking...
Put a little mix in there.
Yeah. Okay. TV show.
Go TV show. Ooh. You know what's funny is I really didn't even have answers when I wrote these down. It was just like the first thing I could think of. So, Goat TV show. Family Matters. No, honestly, I'd probably go with Sons of Anarchy.
A TV show that I fucking loved, that I think was great, was Last Man on Earth.
Good choice. Good choice. Oh,
I just picked TV
my
show.
bad. Goat conspiracy topic.
The moon.
I put it between the moon and Skinwalker Ranch. Just because Skinwalker Ranch has fuck everything.
Yeah.
It's got all the stuff.
Yeah.
But the moon's a good choice.
Yeah. Skinwalker Ranch is right up there. Fast food chain.
My heart says Chick-fil-A, but my spending habits say McDonald's.
In-N-Out, dude.
Ooh.
I mean, you go to In-N-Out and there's only like 4 things on the menu. A single, a double, fries,
Yeah.
shakes.
And they all fuck.
Yeah, and they all fuck.
Goat actor.
Ooh. Liam Neeson's, dude. Liam Neeson's is my shit.
I just remember this thing from Kevin Pollak, and he plays this game with his sons where he picks like an actor or a historical figure, and he has to say a word the way they would say it, and they have to guess who it is. And for him, he stumped his kids with Liam Neeson. He's like, bananas. I gotta go with Denzel.
Yeah, dude. I think the first movie I ever saw with Denzel Washington was Glory.
Oh, God.
And that part where he's getting fucking whipped.
And he's just
And
standing
he just
there.
like shugs off the guy that's holding him, and he just stands there.
And the tears rolling down his face, but he's not like...
Yeah, he just like... Tear.
He's so good.
Fucking gangster, dude. Horror movies.
Insidious. That's the GOAT to me.
The Exorcist.
Solid choice.
That scared the pants off of me when I was a kid.
GOAT album.
One of my favorites still, even though it's like out of the main genre that I listen to, is Incubus Morning View.
Excellent choice. I gotta go with Sully Erna's Avalon solo album, because it's just like, it's so good, and anybody of any fan of any genre can listen to it and go, this album's fucking great.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
Beer.
The GOAT beer.
Goat beer, the king of all beers. I Mick Ultra for me.
I gotta go to Corona. Because no matter what, no matter what place I go, if I don't like the beer choices, I'm gonna just revert to a Corona.
Yeah.
Simple.
Yeah.
I think it's sit here and
I
drink.
do love Coronas.
It's so easy.
They just
to,
hurt my tummy.
Yeah. I get too many and I'm just like, ugh. But that's with all beer.
Yeah.
Yeah. Corona's my jam. The GOAT decade.
80s.
Yeah, I gotta go 90s. But 80s is like really close runner-up.
Yeah, 80s for me, I mean, that was my childhood, and it was like so much cool shit was going on. 90s were a little bit more gangster for me, so 80s is where it was for me.
Yeah, I was more 90s, the fashion, the trend, and there's so much like 80s fashion that even I looked at then and I went, God, that looks so stupid.
Yeah.
Yeah. But it was over the top and it was
yeah.
fun, so.
Movie villain. You go. I'm thinking because there was something that I was just watching the other day that I was like, why don't you just fucking die already?
There's so many good ones. There's so many iconic ones like Clancy Brown as the Kurgan, or Alan Rickman as Hans Gruber, but I think the one that really does stand out to me is Heath Ledger's Joker.
Ooh.
Because he's just so perfect, and you never really understand his motivation for being a villain, or his actual backstory, which the mystery behind that makes it so much more interesting.
Plus, he's so fun to watch as the Joker. You know?
The little quirks, the mouth licking thing. His I can't remember the guy's name he kind of based the voice off of, but you want to know how I got these scars? Like, has that weird nasally, but his like vocal range changes, and his like quirky movements and shit. He's just top tier.
Yeah. Fuck, I don't know, Voldemort, dude. I'll say Voldemort. Because there's like 10 movies and you're just like, this fucker just keeps coming back.
But he's only in like 4 of them.
Yeah, yeah. Just the mention of his name is, he should not be named, I should say. Superhero. Superman, dude.
Yeah, my instinct wants to go with my favorite, and that's Wolverine, but the real GOAT superhero is Superman.
Yeah.
He's
got all the powers.
He's got all the powers. He's, truth, justice, the American way, all that good stuff.
Yeah, Superman.
He's the real GOAT. I'm glad this one actually fell at the end. GOAT, piece of advice. And if you want to say, to quote a really smart guy and say it's either all bullshit or none of it is, that's a great choice.
I'll say it's either all bullshit or none of it is. To quote a wise man that I know pretty well.
It's It's a privilege to be a friend of that guy. No, honestly, I think the best piece of advice I've ever gotten is something my dad always told me is kind of always remember how much your time is worth. Which is why I don't change my own fucking oil. It takes too much time versus I could just go down the street and it's done in 45 minutes.
True. I do like changing the oil though, for some reason. There's certain things that I like dread the thought of doing, and then once I start doing them, I like it.
Yeah, I get that.
Car stuff is one of those things, even though I most of the time don't know what I'm doing, and I say a lot of expletive deleteds.
I haven't heard that one in a while.
Once I get into it and once I'm done, I feel accomplished. And I go inside and I like walk around with my dirty hands like I've done something extraordinary. Everybody look at me. I have dirty hands.
I have walked from the garage to the kitchen to deliver my seed.
Oh, it was a fun game.
Nice little warm up.
Yeah.
And I've got some other ones that I'm working on too. But I kind of feel like just to get in and start with a conversation that's easy and you don't need to think about.
Yeah.
With that said, let's get into a conversation that's not going to be as easy, but we have to think about. But since we're talking about the Southwest, I got to garb up. I got to get in character.
Oh, fuck. Yeah.
See that? Turquoise, baby.
Looks like it's from the heart of Sedona, Arizona.
From the heart of Sedona.
Which is one of our main topics today, and very interesting place.
If you want to get like full Southwest, I got these right here.
Oh yeah.
I just thought of that actually. There you go. Got to get some use out of them.
I'm sure these were supposed to be for the Garth Brooks episode.
Yeah, they arrived after we recorded it. Same day. Like about an hour after. I feel super Tex-Mexy right now.
Yeah, I feel like I could be a serial killer.
I feel like I could just wear like 9 turquoise rings and just all my jewelry is turquoise.
I think you could pull it off.
I think so. I mean, I'm probably 30 years too young, but...
You start now, you can have quite a collection by then, though.
Just wearing like jeans and one of those shirts that has like the Native American kind of stitch pattern and flip-flops with all my turquoise jewelry, I could do it.
Yeah. I fully support your decision.
I'm not doing it. It's silly.
Yeah.
It's like a divorced dad start over in a new place kind of thing.
Yeah, which seems like that's what happens a lot in Sedona.
The culture there is very interesting.
Yeah. So if you don't know what we're talking about, Sedona, Arizona is a place that is known to be a very spiritual place. Millions of people flock there every year to experience the energies. There are four different energy vortexes in the city of Sedona, Arizona, and people flock there to go get spiritual cleansings and get in touch with their spiritual nature, I guess. So you could say that, I guess.
Yeah, get in touch with your spiritual nature.
Just a little bit of background information on Sedona. I had to look this up because I was interested in it. I've never been to Sedona, so thinking about it, I've heard of Sedona, Arizona. I always thought it was kind of a major metropolitan area, but it's not.
No.
The city of Sedona has less than 9,000 people that live there year-round. Tooele County has like 30,000 people that live there or something like that, so it's quite a bit smaller than Tooele. But of those 10,000 people that live there, there are over 200 metaphysical shops there.
Yeah.
So that means 1 in 50 people that live there owns like a psychic reading, tarot, crystal shop type place, 150. So it's like everywhere you go, there's like you could get your aura read by somebody wearing a bracelet like that.
Yeah. You want me to read your aura? I can't do it.
Yeah, all I see is red. This side is more red.
I see you have a red side and a light side to you. I wonder, maybe you need to just cleanse your
realign
chakras.
your chakras.
Need some Reiki going on. Yeah. By the way, buy this crystal over here.
Yeah. What will help is if you buy this crystal. So there's less than 10,000 people that live there. 200 different types of psychic energy reading type establishments, and less than 10 fast food restaurants.
I did see something I thought was super cool. Is the McDonald's there? The golden arches are turquoise. And it's the only one in the world that was allowed to do that. Yeah.
And you go get your bowels realigned in the Sedona McDonald's.
It is kind of cool to see.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's such a weird, off-putting amount of people owning those shops and stuff. But it's a huge tourist spot.
Right.
So it makes sense. Like, sometime last year, Ty went there for a vacation. But then he was working with us, and he's like, yeah, I just got back from Sedona. And I was like, oh, dude, tell me all about it. I've always been interested. And he's like, yeah, there's crystal shops everywhere. And then they do like a farmer's market, and they shut down all the streets, and it's most of the vendors selling crystals.
Yeah.
So it's okay. Big Reiki culture.
Yeah.
But in the nearby surrounding mountains, there's a ton of quartz.
Mm-hmm.
So it's like their primary export is fucking crystals.
Yeah, I mean, that's mainly what the city thrives on is tourism. And so, again, it would be like kind of thinking of Moab.
Mm-hmm.
Moab has a population of about 5,000 people that live there throughout the year. So maybe twice the size of Moab. So not huge, just a small tourist town. And their main export is tourism. And it's mostly people that are coming for that reason. They've heard of the energies there, the vortexes, and people go there to realign themselves, which is cool.
It is a very cool thing. And I was watching some different videos. So I've had the most difficult time with this subject, more so than any others, because I'm trying to specify different things to look at, but I keep falling down rabbit holes.
Yeah.
So it's hard for me to retain enough knowledge on just the thing I was looking at, because it's like, ooh, I want to look at this. Ooh, I want to look at this, And then you stumble across the golden arches being turquoise, and you're like, ooh, that's a fun fact,
Yeah.
But where was I going with that? Yeah, so I was watching some different people talk about their healing experiences there of the Cathedral Mountain, stuff like that. And one guy was he was like a Buddhist monk who traveled to Sedona, and then he just stayed there because he found that place amplified his abilities that he learned as a monk. So yeah, watching other people talk about it, and it's like once in a blue moon I'd come across somebody who's like, yeah, I didn't feel shit. I didn't feel cleansed or whatever. Okay, you're probably just an asshole. But everybody else was like, I actually feel better. I thought it was going to be like a woo-woo thing. But I went there and I followed other people's guidance and did all these things, and I actually feel better as a person. So it's like ayahuasca without the ayahuasca.
Yeah, and I was kind of looking into the geology of the location, and a lot of it is underground. There's quartz crystal, which generates energy, stores energy, can release energy. On top of that is the red sandstone, which is iron ore, which will amplify any kind of energy coming from crystals, supposedly. So there is the possibility that you could feel certain energies, or you might feel differently about stuff, or you could just be going out there and getting a huge dose of vitamin D and feeling great because you've been out in the sun for a week.
Yeah.
And you're actually getting the amount of vitamin D that you're supposed to get. Sedona is a lot of sunshine. It's out in the middle of the desert. I was watching one thing. It was like, could it be people that are actually feeling these energies and feeling like they're going to this? There's one of these vortexes, and then you have to hike up to the spot, and then you sit, in the center of the energy vortex for a certain amount of time, whatever you want to meditate and sit there and meditate for. But people that feel dizzy, they might feel drained or like recharged. But could it be that they're just feeling dehydrated? I don't know, maybe.
I think about the basic biological factor of feeling cleansed or repaired is, like you said, you're out there in the sun, you're getting all this vitamin D. The weather there is fucking beautiful. It's hard to not feel depressed when it looks the way it does outside right now.
Yeah.
Or when it's snowing.
Yeah.
You're stuck inside, you can't do anything. And then those like spring days where it's like unseasonably warm and you're like, oh my God, I feel amazing.
Yeah.
And then you add into the factor that they have to hike up to these spots, like you're outside, you're getting sunlight, you're
Fresh
active,
air.
and the weather is great to look at. Like naturally, you are going to feel better.
And it's beautiful scenery, like.
Oh, it's gorgeous.
Yeah.
And even the town, when you see the overhead views, it's not like a super dense clustered area. It's actually kind of spread out, and there's a lot of vegetation and trees and stuff like that within the city. So it's naturally you're going to feel better. And then you take into account the crystal thing. Like you said, it does put off energy. And the iron content in the red dirt, you are going to breathe that in. You are going to like get more iron into your body almost through osmosis. Mm-hmm. And more iron in your blood is better for you. It increases your blood flow in your brain and everything else. Piss off. Piss off.
I thought that I was being enlightened for a second there.
Well, yeah.
I'm transcending, dude. Grab my feet.
So yeah, just all those simple biological factors are going to make you feel better.
Yeah.
That's not to take away to say that maybe there isn't some kind of actual cleansing energy there, but it's pretty simple to see.
Yeah. So yeah, I mean, that area, I think it was in the late 70s that somebody, it was like the psychic medium lady, said that she was told about these energy vortexes by an entity and told where they were at, and then she started giving tours to people and taking them to these places, and that's how it kind of spread. And then there was a big gathering, like a spiritual gathering that took place in like the mid 80s, and then ever since then it's been a really big tourist hotspot for spiritual cleansing and spiritual healing. So yeah, like I said, I've never been there, so I can't say that it's all bullshit, and I can't say that it's 100% true because I've never experienced it for myself. But
For sure.
There are a lot of people that claim to go there and do feel very cleansed or a lot better. So,
Well, not just that, it's also kind of become a hotspot for UFO activity. UAPs are seen a lot in that area. And there's so many like debatable topics on why that area would be more prominent than another area, but I would think the crystals alone, the way it's like just putting off energy, out into the ether, would be something that like, if you're an alien cruising by, you're going to go, what the fuck is that?
yeah. Or if it's just something that maybe the alien spacecrafts run off of this certain type of energy that is highly abundant in this area because of the makeup of the way that the ground is made up. So it's almost like a fueling station for energy.
Well, I mean, even if you look at like the concept of 0 point energy where any amount of space in the universe contains a vast amount of energy. You just have to harness it. You know, I try to put that through like a technological lens of, let's say you're in a fucking UFO and you can harness this 0 point energy, but if you go over here, it's different energy. It's kind of like gas versus diesel, or maybe it takes less time to recharge from that. I don't know. There's just a lot of things that go on in my mind thinking about the energy field there.
Yeah.
Plus, you throw in the factor of all the portals that get seen there and reported. Do you remember that one video of the guy used a speaker and he played 2 different frequencies on the same speaker and opened the portal? You know, it looks like a fake, but it's so well made that it's really hard to tell.
Didn't he say he opened up a portal to Sedona, Arizona?
Yeah, that was the first place he opened up a portal to. And so even if, let's just play devil's advocate and say that that's a real thing, right? Why would it just automatically open to Sedona, Arizona, of all places?
Yeah. I mean, according to Linda Moulton Howe, who is a renowned investigator of paranormal science.
It's super hot, by the way.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. She wasn't bad looking back in the 70s.
Oh, yeah. No,
Yeah.
she was.
Yeah.
Now she just looks like your grandma.
Yeah. Gilf, I'd say.
Gilf.
She'd beat Gilf in my butt.
I'd let her wear my turquoise bracelet. And only that.
Said that there is a place just outside of, not too far from Sedona. I think we're going to talk about it in one of our other episodes in this series. But according to her, there are 9 interdimensional portals around the world that the government knows about and has recorded and can manipulate by using energy frequencies to open up to go into these other dimensions. And one of those is just outside of Sedona, at the Bradshaw Ranch.
Bradshaw Ranch. Yeah, that is one I want to save for later.
Yeah.
Just because it's kind of like an episode by itself.
Yeah, I just had to put that in there since we were talking about why there would be portals there. But according to her, that's one of the places that the government uses as a portal.
Mm-hmm. I wonder what the other 8 are.
I don't know. I think one is Rendlesham Forest.
Makes sense.
I don't know about the others. Mount Shasta, maybe.
Yeah, I imagine one of them is probably the Bermuda Triangle.
Yeah.
Just guessing.
Yeah. Maybe the Alaska Triangle.
Very well could be.
Spaceships come in triangles also.
They do.
But yeah, someplace I would like to go and visit there. I got to save up some money. Apparently, it's a little pricey to go there, and
Yeah.
especially if there's only less than 10 fast food places. I can't eat at a rich place every single day.
No, that's definitely, you got to stop at the grocery store and
Yeah.
you can get some bologna and cheese.
Yeah. Yeah. I was looking up like statistics for like Airbnbs, like how big is the tourist market there, and it was like 16% of all houses are Airbnbs
Jesus.
in that city. So it's like there's a lot of, and it's like 7,000 homes or something like that. So 16% of those are actual full-time Airbnbs.
And they're probably always stocked.
Probably.
Jesus. Yeah. I get it for a place like that, but I think Airbnbs have just devastated the housing economy. So hearing that number just makes me wince just a little bit.
Yeah, so what do you think? You think you'd like to go there and experience?
Oh, 100%.
Yeah.
I'm pretty open to like any one of these places we talk about. I want to go to. I want to see it for myself. I want to experience it. I am more fascinated by the idea of the cleansing part. like, yeah, the UAP stuff is cool and the portal stuff is cool, but for me as a person, I'm much more interested in that.
Mm-hmm.
And I would love to see for myself if I went there and I actually felt cleansed and felt better, while still accounting for like the basic biological facts that we talked about.
Yeah.
Because, you know, sometimes you go to a place and the energy feels different. You know, you go to like a haunted hotspot and you just feel like, you know, there is something paranormal here. So I would love to see for myself, if I go there and I go, wow, the energy here is just like electric. I would love to.
Yeah. Another interesting thing that I looked up was the median age of the average person that lives there is 59 years old.
Yeah.
So little older people live there. Probably a lot of them are retired.
Yeah.
And well off. So in a town like that where there's low stress, a lot of money, like people don't have a lot of cares, like the vibe is probably going to be a lot less stressful just everywhere you go.
Yeah. Plus you think about the fast food thing, where I can't remember how big the town of Sedona is, but you can imagine it's a few miles wide. I can't go a few miles in any direction from here and not pass 3 fast food places.
Yeah.
So they're probably eating better.
Mm-hmm.
They're cleaner. They have a cleaner lifestyle. They're less stress. You know, like their job is the crystals and the farmers markets and all that. Like, you know, they're not doing what we do for a living. So
Right.
it's probably just like the air is pretty light.
Yeah. So that in itself sounds like a pretty good destination for a vacation, proper vacation, of like going and really relaxing.
Yeah.
Instead of like, we're going on vacation or we're taking the kids to Disneyland. That's not a vacation. That's a fucking
That's a
going
rat
to go
race.
stand in line for fucking 3 days straight for 12 hours a day. Stressful.
Yeah, it is. Especially when you have several children and oh my God. Because I was thinking about taking Elsie to Disneyland next year, but just me and her.
Yeah.
So it's simple and easy. Like, I'm going to pay extra for the fast pass so we could just go ride to ride.
Yeah.
Now, the one time we took all 7 of us was just like, this sucks.
Yeah, we took our kids probably 5-6 years ago. And even that was just like wrangling everybody, getting everybody up, getting everybody ready,
Yeah.
going to the park, keeping everybody together as we go on. Yeah, it was stressful.
Yeah, I think you should just have like a lottery for your kids. Like, hey, I'm only going to take one of you to Disneyland next year, and based on your grades and how well you do your chores and shit.
I thought you meant just like pick a straw. Oh, you fucking lost again.
Idiot. All the straws are the same size. You're like, guess I'm going by myself.
I'm the only one that got the different straw. Peace out. I'm not going to Disneyland either. I'm just going to fucking chill.
Yeah, if I was going to go by myself, I'd probably go to like Universal Studios or something, where I would have more fun as an adult.
Yeah.
Anyway. So yeah, Sedona seems like a super cool place.
Yeah. Very chill, very light, very positive vibes for a whole town.
Yeah.
Which could lead into a segue to switch gears into...
Definitely, because Sedona, as far as high strangeness goes, is totally G-rated.
Yeah.
Now, let's flip it. Let's go to the R-rated side. Talk about Superstition Mountain.
Superstition Mountain.
Thunder Mountain.
The home of the thunder god. It was what the Apache called the original name for the Superstition Mountains. So the Apache and the Yamapai Indians were the indigenous tribes that lived in the area, and they had oral histories of both giants and little people that lived in that mountain range, and they weren't very nice, let's say.
No, and 4 to 5 people go missing in those mountains every year.
Every year.
And that's with the advent of technology and all these stories and things like that, where people hear it and they go, fuck that, I'm not going there.
Yeah.
Can you imagine what it was before, when it was just a word of mouth gold strike claim?
Yeah.
The what do they call it? The Dutchman.
Lost Dutchman.
The Lost Dutchman's treasure. Yeah, which almost kind of feels like a cosmic joke.
Yeah.
In a way of, like, this one dude went in there, made a deal with the fucking devil or something, was like, hey, go spread this rumor to get people to come here so I can feed on them.
Yeah.
Or whatever it was, you know. So it's like, the gold that has come out of there is, like, said to be the most high quality gold. Like, the amount of gold deposits of that caliber are in the handfuls across the world. So there is proof that there is gold there.
Mm.
But the natives in the area have these stories about, don't go taking the gold out of there. If you go there, leave the gold there. But they almost found it as an offense because that gold belonged to their gods.
Yeah.
So the natives, especially the Apache, they would find out people stole their gold and they'd kill them.
Mm-hmm.
So it's, this whole fucking area is just blood soaked. If it wasn't the like cryptid aspect of it, it was Native Americans.
Yeah.
And they did not give a fuck.
Yeah. Yeah, there's reports of UAPs in the Superstition mountain range. UAPs, like lights, the orbs that go around. People go in there with even GPS and compasses, and they'll get to a certain point and their shit will just stop working. And so they'll get lost for a while, wandering around for hours and hours, and then come back to a certain spot, and then all of a sudden their shit works again and they just leave because they don't know what's going on. There are stories of people seeing portals opening up inside the rocks, and people disappearing, or they'll see somebody that they think is another hiker, and so they'll try to go and follow where they're going, and all of a sudden they see that like just a tunnel open up in the rocks, and they disappear in those rocks, and then it closes. A lot of strange things happening. People seeing ghosts of like pioneer type people walking around, big groups of people. So, you know, one end we've got Sedona, which is the super high energy, and then on not too far away in this mountain range, we're seeing the complete opposite of like more malevolent forces.
Yeah, that was exactly the word I was thinking, because this place is totally different than a lot of the other places we've talked about. I mean, discarding like military bases and such, but you know, Skinwalker Ranch, or we've kind of alluded to Mount Shasta, or places like that where all this high strangeness happens. Superstition Mountain seems the only one that's actually malevolent in nature. It's not just creepy. It's not just like weird questions and things like that. It's like you go there and you have a high chance you're going to get wounded or killed.
Yeah.
Even if it's by the little people or the reptilians that are in there. And then there's also a bunch of stories about alien abductions. Like there was a story about a woman who was hiking the path, and she finds this huge piece of quartz, and she knows, like, I can't carry that back to my car, but she's getting rocks trying to break off a piece of it. And then before she knows it, she kind of like asses out for a minute and wakes up on a table, and there's all these strange creatures around her. And the amount of lost time incidents or cryptid sightings, you know, I was watching one video where this guy, he's he's an expedition leader into there, and he was talking about, he was out there one night and he just felt something like it in his presence, and just instinctively he did this roll and he pulled out his knife and he turned around and he said what it looked like the Nazgul from Lord of the Rings, like riding a dragon.
A Dementor.
A Dementor, yeah. He's like, and what really threw me off is when it passed, I could feel cloth touching me. So it's like, it's wearing clothes, but it looks like it's riding this big fucking dragon.
Yeah.
And that doesn't fit the narrative of any other place that we've talked about.
No.
Even the idea of like the little people, the fairies, the fae, whatever you want to call them, the cryptids there with the reptilians. Like, we've heard stories about reptilians forever. The reptilians in the base at Dulce. It's like, what the fuck are they doing there?
Yeah.
None of this makes any sense within the concept of what we look at.
Yeah.
Which is why it's so fascinating.
Yeah, so the story of the lady that got abducted or whatever happened to her, like you said, she was trying to break off pieces of these crystals, started getting hot, and so she looked over and saw a little overhang that had some shade, so she went over there, decided to go sit over there for a second out of the sun, take a break for a minute. She went and sat down and for a few minutes, and as she was getting up, she said that she felt something grab her on the shoulder.
That's right. Yeah.
And she turned to see what it was that was holding on to her, and then the next thing that she knew, she was laying down on this table in this room, and there were these beings around her, and as her eyes adjusted to the light, she noticed that they were not human, and they were reptilians. They had, what caught her eye was the light, the limited light that was in this room was like glaring off of their scales. And that's the last thing that she remembered seeing when she felt something on her arm, and she turned and just saw scales. She said they all had similar features, but they all looked different. So they weren't just like mass manufactured robots or something, but they all were individual beings. And then she was trying to struggle to try to get away, and one of them pulled out something, a device, and shot a blue beam of light at her. And the next thing that she knew, she was in her car halfway home driving, and she doesn't know how she got there or how long it had been. But when she got home, she felt so sick and like beaten down that she didn't get out of bed for a couple days. And it wasn't until a few months later she started trying to remember what happened, and went through hypnotic regression and started recounting the story of what happened to her. And the hypnotist or the therapist, whatever, that was doing this was like, the story was so the same all the time, and it was so detailed that he really truly believed that this actually happened to her. And so yeah, that's one of the big stories. So you got stories of reptilians, beings that live in that area. And then you go back to like the native stories of like, there are also skinwalkers and different beings that they talk about in that area. The Yakaka?
Yeah, I think that sounds right. I was having trouble keeping so many different names separately.
Yeah. I think that's the name of the race of little people that are mischievous.
The Tuartoms?
Yeah.
Oh, I have it on my board. Tuartoms, yeah.
Tuartoms. That's fun to say. Yeah, so there's all these different stories of these things being real and being something that you need to be wary of when you're going into these places.
Yeah, and there's also stories about them just being mischievous, like throwing rocks at you. And one guy even, because he's been there so many times, he thinks the bigger the rock, the more pissed off they are at you, because it's happened to him so many times. And then stories of people who try to go into these, into the mountain itself to try to collect some of the gold or, to see something. And a lot of the time they kind of get their shit rocked.
Yeah.
And it starts as something as simple as like, I turned and there was something right in front of me and I panicked and I fell and I rolled down the hill. Like, those are the easy ones. To me, the bigger question is the people who disappear in there, because it's not this huge mountain range. It's not like Wasatch or the Ochres or whatever. It's not quite that big. So it's like, where are they actually disappearing to?
Yeah.
You know? You see the disappearances in the Grand Canyon, you go, it makes fucking sense. That's a huge place.
Yeah, and some of the people that go missing, they'll find the remains of these people years later. And some of them are like, they'll find the body one place and then they'll find the head placed somewhere else miles away. So it's like, are these people dying? Or are they being picked off? Or are they being like...
Is it ritualistic?
Yeah.
And it's funny too, because sometimes the head will have different wounds in it.
Yeah.
Like on the on the whole, they'll look like a bullet wound, but it's actually an impact from a solid object. Almost like something with fucking talons grabbed them by the head. And
ripped it off and then went and ate it somewhere else.
Yeah, or chucked it.
Like a Dementor style.
Get the fuck out of here! I gotta take that off. It doesn't really fit. But, yeah, that is so weird to me. Or maybe it's like the tooth fairy demons from Hellboy. Like they'll eat a person, but they eat the teeth first. So maybe they just like take this head off, and I'm gonna take it over here and gnaw on the brain, you know. Or that's why they poke a hole, put a straw in there. Killer Clowns from Outer Space style. It's so strange.
Sip time.
Sip time. Fucking got me on that. Just because I still vividly remember that scene. Who wants a sip? Sip time. So, yeah. I have kind of a theory about it. And it's not fully formed.
Let's finish her off.
But I'm just going to throw it out there. I think between the crystals in the ground and the iron and the dirt, transient magnetic waves are a real thing, right? Just waves of magnetism floating in through space. And they say that place comes alive at night. Well, a lot of people, especially, you know, in like Sedona or whatever, Arizona is vastly populated by the elderly. People who go to bed at 7 or 8 o'clock. So devices shut off, Wi-Fi is no longer used, that sort of thing. Once all the electrical signals come down, transient magnetic waves come in. So people who are at Superstition Mountain are actually just getting a huge burst of EMF, just electromagnetic radiation.
Natural.
Totally natural. And they're being fueled by all of these tales of the little people and the reptilians or whatever, and they're just hallucinating. Just a theory I'm playing with.
Yeah, it could be.
And if you're in this cave system in the mountain and there's gold in there, that's also going to help amplify that signal. Gold's not a ferrous material, so the magnetism part doesn't apply to it, but
it does conduct electricity really well.
Super well.
Yeah.
That's why it's used in components for space travel.
Yeah. That's why Anunnaki wanted it.
Exactly.
Well, they wanted it to put into their atmosphere so that their atmosphere was dying. Anyways. Yeah, one of the stories that I heard that kind of led to them looking for gold in those mountains was it was in the early 1800s. A cowboy was riding along, collecting stray cows from the herd, and so he was riding up near the bases of the big tall cliffs there in the Superstition mountain range, and it was like midday and he was getting hot, and so he went up, found this little shady spot. He was going to sit down and take a break. So he sat down, started drinking from his canteen, and I was sitting there for a minute, started feeling like he was dozing off. And just as he was about to fall asleep, he noticed something moving, and so he sat up and he looked over, and he saw, it was like 8 or 9 little people. First he thought they were kids, but he's like, they can't be kids, they have beards. They all had big long beards, kind of looked like gnomes, I guess. They were walking along kind of one of the ridges up above him, and so he jumped up to his feet and started kind of following along as they're higher than he is. He's underneath them, kind of watching what they're doing. And he said they came to a crack in the rocks, and they're all single file walking, and as they got to the crack, they turned sideways and went in, like, just kind of disappeared into the rock cliff face, and all of a sudden reappeared down to his, where he was at, down on the ground level, and started walking off into the desert. So it was like, see him like go into this spot, disappear, and then reappear down here, and then kind of like they were using an invisible elevator or something. So he was just like, what the fuck is going on? And so he started walking towards them, and all of a sudden the one that was in the front turned around and saw him. And then it was at that point he noticed that he couldn't move. He was kind of immobilized. So the guy came up to him, put something into his hand, and he said he could feel it in his hand. It was heavy. He didn't know what it was. He couldn't move. He couldn't like look down to see what it was. And then the being turned around, and then they started walking off. As he regained control over his body, he looked down to see what it was, and it was a big piece of ore in his hand that had a big streak of gold through it.
Yeah.
And by the time he looked back up, they disappeared. These beings had disappeared. So like he was looking at it like, didn't know what had just happened or why it happened. So he jumped back on his horse, rode back to the main ranch where he was staying at the whole time. He kept putting his hand in his pocket just to make sure that he wasn't hallucinating this shit. Got back there, told everybody what happened, showed him the rock, and then that kind of sparked the whole gold rush fever into these mountains.
Yeah.
Cut to a few decades later, and then this Jacob Walls guy goes in there, that's the Lost Dutchman, supposedly finds this mine, and they start like pulling gold out of this mine. And according to that legend, they filled up like 10 or 12 satchels, horse satchels, full of this gold, and were taking it out of there, and then they got ambushed, and then by Apaches, and then nobody knows what happened to the gold. Decades later, they said that they found one of the satchels full of gold,
Mm-hmm.
and supposedly there are still between 10 and 12 satchels still out there somewhere. That's why people still go gold hunting for these satchels in those mountains.
Can you imagine finding one of those now, especially with that gold being that like premium Colombian gold,
Yeah.
and finding that, and it's like, I'm fucking retiring.
Yeah.
And then you die from
All I have to do is get out of here alive.
It's a race against time.
Yeah. Be like very Indiana Jones-ish.
There's
I've got
a
hat.
movie right there, dude.
I just need a leather jacket and a satchel
And a whip.
and a whip and a revolver, but I'm only going to bring like 2 or 3 rounds.
Yeah. That's all you need.
Yeah.
Yeah. I'm going to have my dad dress up as Sean Connery, ride in my sidecar. I'm about it.
Yeah.
It is strange when you think about the aspect of like how malevolent these creatures are. But this one cowboy, they were like, here's some free gold.
Yeah, but are they doing it to show them that there's gold there, or are they doing it to be like, there aren't that many people, we're running out of food.
Exactly.
I crave brains, and I am thirsty for a sip.
They just have like straws made out of bone that they just poke through like a fucking juice box.
So if you get one guy coming in, are you going to kill that one guy, or are you going to send him out to bring lots more people?
Yeah. It's give a man a fish or teach him how to fish.
Exactly.
That's exactly it. But there are people that go in there and come out completely unscathed and have no experiences.
Yeah.
So it does kind of make me wonder, was it a scheme to get people to keep coming in with the gold? Or are they actually more benevolent than we think they are? And it's like, hey, we're going to gift this humble cowboy this gold. or some of the people who have gone in and actually gotten the gold and walked out, is it, you know, some kind of intrinsic value of, this is a good person, I'm gonna let them have the gold.
Yeah.
Or, this guy is a fucking asshole, we're gonna eat his brains.
Yeah. Maybe they feed off of that assholism.
Yeah.
Inside the brain. There's something inside the brain that makes somebody an asshole.
Maybe they tear the asshole out
first. We should probably
first.
not go there. We're going to get our fucking brain sucked out.
I would like to think if we went there, they'd be like, hey, I've listened to you guys talk on the podcast. You're cool.
You're the podfather, right?
You're the podfather. It's Dave-inci and Spence Angelo, right? Fucking, I love your show.
I love your Ghostbuster posters. Fucking awesome.
I love those AI-produced images. They're fucking great. It's based on a real picture, so it's not totally artistically bankrupt.
Yeah, I mean, I enjoy them thoroughly.
I do too. I think they come out looking fucking awesome.
Yeah.
So I gotta tell you my favorite part about learning about Superstition Mountain. So I'm sure you've come across the same gentleman. He's kind of like the local historian there.
Maybe.
Steve?
Is he an older guy?
Yeah.
Yeah.
He's got kind of like a white splotch on one side of his face. 90% of what I watched about it was listening to him tell stories, right? Because he's this big wealth of knowledge. But I watched probably 3 or 4 videos of this dude before I even figured out his name. And I was like, this guy reminds me of somebody. I can't quite place it. And then it hit me. Do you remember the video?
Not the Sally house, but the one.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then I found out his name is Steve, and that guy's name is Steve, and they even sound similar.
Yeah.
So they're probably related.
Yeah.
But one of them is a real dude, and the other one is absolutely full of shit. And I'm watching, and I start watching it, and I'm getting flashbacks to that guy. And look, this is a demon doll from the ovens at Auschwitz and shit. And you're like, what the fuck are you even talking about? Oh my god, dude! I couldn't help but draw the parallel there.
Yeah, I did watch one. It was like a ghost hunter video that they were doing an investigation of. It's like an old church house just outside of like the main parking lot where you go hiking into the Superstition range, right? Superstition Mountain. And he was on there, and he was like the caretaker of that that area right there. The whole time I was thinking, "Fuck, man, this guy reminds me of that." That's funny.
From the Not Sally house.
The Not Sally house.
It's like the Sally house, but it's way bigger and way better. Yeah, that shit was entertaining. But I'm listening to this dude's stories, and he could talk for days.
Yeah.
Just reciting all these stories, not just his experience, but other people's, nonstop. And that's when I was like, holy shit, there is so much to this place that I don't think any fucking podcaster can cover it in an hour.
No, yeah, with so many stories of, and like I've probably looked into maybe like 10 or 15 hours of videos and stuff talking about the Superstition Mountains, but that's just not even the tip of the iceberg. Like,
yeah. And this is all, and it's all surface level stories from other people.
Right.
There's basically no factual evidence to support any of it.
Yeah.
But that's kind of the same with every other anecdotal place like Skinwalker Ranch or Mount Shasta. And it's like, dude, I just want somebody to capture one of those little people and get a picture of it so I can see what we're actually looking at.
But even on that front, like even Skinwalker Ranch and these places that are starting to be investigated the way that they are, before that it was all stories and accounts of people that have experienced things there. And so maybe it just takes a dedicated team to be on that location for a certain amount of time to do the research that, like, and it could be opened up like one of these spots like Bradshaw Ranch or Skinwalker Ranch or Mount Shasta, where there are people that are there a lot doing research in this specific range for these things.
Yeah. I don't know. So, every time we talk about one of these places, we always say, You know, would you actually want to go there? Would you want to take a look? So is this one that you would?
Yeah, I would like to go there. Again, I'm not sure how far I'd be willing to go up into those mountains because, like I said, there are people who are well equipped and well established wilderness people who get lost there every year. So I think that a place like this might be a little bit more daunting because of the terrain.
Yeah, and they say it's really rough to hike up there.
Right.
Like lots of jagged rocks. Obviously you can't take any motor vehicles over there, but horses struggle and they only get so far anyway.
Yeah.
So yeah, just the physical aspect would make it extremely difficult.
Yeah.
What about going into the mountain itself?
I would. Yeah, for like a day hike. I don't know if I'd want to stay there overnight. I probably would.
I probably would too.
If I could bring, my CPAP shit. A generator.
Yeah, you find the little people are just super mischievous. Like, they don't actually harm us, but they unplug your CPAP and fart in the hose. Is that a tort tongue fart?
Smells like rotten brains.
I think I would want to go in, but counter to my nature of like, well, I would want to go in with cameras and tools and document. I think I would do the opposite. I think I would just walk in with my own intention and discernment. I'm not going to take any gold, or, if I find anything, I'm just going to leave it there. For me, I think it'd be more about the experience.
Right, and if you're going to lend your aura to your hypothesis of like the magnetic energy of the Earth being amplified naturally, you wouldn't want to have any of those devices that are going to cause some disruption in that field. So yeah.
I think I would want to go in strictly on like a communication thing. Like, I'm not here to prove reptiles or little people are real. I'm not here to like take anything. Just
want to experience the power of the mountain.
The power of the mountain. And if there is creatures in there, let's have a conversation.
Yeah, I'd only take this.
That's it. They're just like, oh shit, you're one of us. You cool. And then we have a conversation at the end. They're like, hey, by the way, here's some gold for being a cool guy.
Tight. Thank you.
Yeah.
I like it. Schedule that for next year.
Yeah, just put that on the calendar. Yeah, my natural instinct is like, if I go to Skinwalker Ranch, I'm taking all the goodies.
Yeah.
I want to measure everything and record everything and blah, blah, blah. But I think a place like that just has that level of malevolence already with it, don't go there with the intention of pissing anything off. Don't go there to try to get rich or create proof. We'll let actual scientists have that one. I'm not going to do it.
Yeah, I want the experience.
And I want to be able to live.
Yeah.
I don't want to have my tiny little pea brain sucked out.
Would it be worth it to go over there and see like fuck, they're real, and all of a sudden hose, bang, right into your fucking head. You get that 10 seconds of like, they're real, I knew it, and then you're gone.
I've actually thought about that scenario before. Let's say you're on your deathbed. You could literally go at any minute. And some government official walks into your hospital room and it was like, hey, I can tell you all the secrets about everything and you can live with it for an hour, but then we have to kill you. Would it be worth it? You wouldn't do it.
Was I dying already?
Yeah, you're dying.
Oh, yeah. Sure.
Let's say you have cancer, just for the sake of argument. Like, you're going to die soon. Be like, you know what? Yeah.
Fuck it.
Can we see some pics and video? Yeah. Like, how expansive is this presentation? Because if it's just going to be you telling me the shit's real, it's not worth it. I could live another week. Or he's like, no, here's real video, and this is what J-Rod actually looks like. Here's a video of him talking.
Maybe we could set up a company that does that. Just goes in and tells people what they want to know on their deathbed.
Yeah, even if we make it up.
Yeah.
And then at the end, we just pull the plug and leave.
Yeah.
Cash the check, baby.
Well, you got to cash a check first. And okay, that cleared.
Yep, check bounce. Fuck you, buddy.
Yeah.
I'm glad you're dying of cancer. Piece of
Have
shit.
fun with that ass cancer.
What was the other one? What was the other one we were going to throw in this episode?
Phoenix Lights.
Phoenix Lights. Okay, so I was trying to remember if it was Phoenix Lights or Travis Walton. But so the Phoenix Lights, I didn't do any more research on because I've heard this story dozens and dozens of times. So for anyone who doesn't know what Phoenix Lights are, in 1996? Seven.
March 13th, 1997.
So you were
A junior in high school.
17.
Yeah.
Just turned 17. Fucking Pisces energy.
It was like a week after my 17th birthday.
Yeah, dude. Pisces energy. See, I'm also a water sign. I'm a Cancer.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't totally buy into the astrology thing, but I'm learning a lot about it. Anyway, this big V-shaped craft was seen above Phoenix, made no sound, had a series of lights on it. Tons and tons of people saw this. It was recorded on video by hundreds of people. And all these people are asking, you know, what was this? Was it a UFO? Was it blah, blah, blah? And the mayor of Phoenix at the time is trying to quell it and like, yo, we're going to probe for information and whatever. And then they have, what do you call it? When he stands up in front of everybody.
Press
conference and basically makes a mockery of the whole thing and tries to gaslight tens of thousands of people into saying, you didn't see that.
Yeah.
Which is the biggest chicken shit piece of shit move you could do. And then later on he comes out, he's like, oh yeah, the lights were real. It totally happened. But it's like, yeah, now that you've gotten in trouble and been to prison and everything else, now you're going to tell the truth? Fuck you, buddy.
Yeah. Yeah, it's one of the iconic UFO stories that was witnessed by, like you said, tens of thousands of people. It went over major metropolises. So they had this thing, recorded sightings of it over 300 miles.
Yeah.
Of people seeing this thing go, and they're saying it's like a mile wide spacecraft that's blocking out the sky behind it. And it was in the air for between 7:30 until 10:30 at night. So over 3 hours, this thing was floating over Phoenix, which is a huge city.
Well, and you're also violating airspace laws.
Right.
Because they have an international airport there.
Right. And so people have videos, pictures,
First-hand
account stories, all coming in to the governor of Phoenix at the time. And yeah, like you said, he goes on the news the next day to do a press conference of like, because there's so many people that are calling this thing in and saying, what the fuck is going on? They'd contact, even the airports were saying, we don't know what this is. This isn't any of ours. Even the military bases in the surrounding areas were saying that that's nothing that they know about. That shouldn't be something in the skies there. So the next day he does this press conference where he's like, yeah, we've received reports. We know exactly what it was. And then he has this person that's dressed as an alien come out on stage.
With the handcuffs.
With the handcuffs, yeah.
And he unmasks him, and it's just a dude. And that is like the most disrespectful thing you could have done to your brethren citizens.
Right.
Like, fuck you. It never happened. This is all a joke. Man. Oh, that irritates me.
I think the biggest thing is like, who told him that he had to do that? Because I don't think it was something that he just like came up with on his own. I think he was told he needs to say this is a hoax. In that same press release, I think it was the same press release, or maybe it was a different one, they said that it was, yes, there was military, activity or whatever. They're doing something, and they were dropping flares in the sky, and they're saying that's what people were seeing with these lights, where these flares were just dropping slowly out of the sky.
Sure.
But it's like, no, the people saw distinctly a V-shaped pattern moving all together across the sky, not falling down. So that was the story. It was these flares, and that's the official story.
Yeah, which is absolute horseshit.
Absolutely.
And the mayor, or governor, or whichever he was in some legal trouble at the time that happened. So I 100% am on board with you that somebody made him do that.
Yeah.
And he mostly got out of it, and I don't remember what it was. It's so unimportant, because just putting that variable in a place that he was in some legal trouble. Hey, man, you want to get out of it? Pay the piper.
We can help you. You just have to say a few things that we want you to say.
By the way, here's a costume. Put it on that guy right there, and this is how you're going to play this out.
Yeah.
And then later on, when the trouble came back and he actually got in trouble, now he wanted to change his story.
Yeah. So yeah, I think it was like 10, 15 years later, he came out and said... It was a long time
after.
Yes, the lights were real, and yes, I saw them personally.
Yeah.
Like, he saw what it was, and he said that it was a giant craft in the sky. Looked like it was probably a mile wide, V-shaped craft in the sky, and there was no real suggestion of what it was or what it could have been.
Yeah.
Other than extraterrestrial.
And the fact that it had no sound is super interesting, because every time you hear about one of these crafts, like, it either had no sound or it put off like a faint electrical buzz sound, like a that's it. Or you'll see people talking about their experience with a UAP just go right past them, nothing. They didn't even hear the air move. So that begs the question, and I'm going to ask you first, do you think it was actual extraterrestrial or a reproduction vehicle?
Well, a few months ago, I was listening to this guy that was on the Danny Jones podcast, and he claims to be somebody that has been working in aerospace technologies for decades and stuff like that. My phone just dropped out of my pocket.
It was the ghost was like, you don't need this.
Yeah.
It was a little person.
Phone, dude. It was the Yamam.
The Tuartum?
Tuartum.
Just like, yeet.
Eat. Anyways, he was saying that he knows exactly what it was. And it was, I can't remember the term he used. It was like aerospace, orbital craft or something like that. Aerospace orbital craft. And it was this design that they've been working on since the mid-60s. And it is an inflatable craft, kind of like a blimp, but it's V-shaped. And they can make it as big as they want to, but it is designed to orbit the Earth, but it's like a balloon. So it's a giant V-shaped balloon, and then he's got pictures of it then working on it at Area 51. Did
he show the pictures?
Yeah.
Did they look legit?
The ones that he was showing were a lot smaller, but he was like, they can make these things as big as they want because it's cheap to make. They use a certain type of material, aerospace type material, so I'm thinking probably a type of carbon fiber so it can resist heat and stuff like that. But they inflate it with certain gases and they can control it. So he said what happened was they were testing this thing at Area 51, and usually they'll have it on a tether and then they'll put it up in the sky and they can kind of control it, but it's on a tether. This thing was so big that it broke the tethers and just started floating away slowly down towards Phoenix. And they didn't recover it until after it got down by Tucson. That was his official story.
Man, I am on the fucking fence. Because there are aspects of that make sense, and then there are aspects that don't.
He kind of went into more details, like talking about why it was the shape that it was, why That's why it was floating so slowly, because it was just being carried on the wind. Why it was so low, because it was not being regulated by, the gases weren't being manipulated, because they lost control of this thing and it was just kind of floating freely. Interesting for sure.
Fuck. Before I pass judgment, I'll have to watch it. But something that does work for me is the idea that it's inflatable, as hokey as that sounds. But if you were going to create some kind of vehicle using anti-gravitics, maybe not even anti-gravitics, electrogravitics maybe, where it is resistant to all forms of physical contact and things like that. You know, because you think about the UAPs and how they're transmedium and how they don't fly traditionally the way we think of them. They just manipulate, you know, the atmosphere and the gravity around them, so they're unaffected. So yes, an inflatable thing of that size seems fucking stupid, but if you had to take it down and conceal it really quick, being inflatable makes sense.
Yeah.
Land it somewhere, quickly deflate it, and then you get your team out there to gaffle it up. You would take a shitload of people if it's a mile wide.
Yeah, he even says that these things, they're making them out of exotic materials so that they're self-healing. So like if it gets punctured, it'll seal itself up somehow.
Kind of like the material that'll, what was it, Mac Brazel found at the Roswell?
Mm-hmm.
Where it's like
The foil.
He tried to burn it, wouldn't burn, crumbled it up, opened his hand, it would reshape. So I buy into that too. There's just some aspects that just don't fit for me.
Yeah.
But the thing that I always questioned was if it was like a military thing, like a reproduction vehicle, why would they fly it over Phoenix? But the tether thing does make some sense on that. I don't know, man. I'm just so in the middle on this. I could go either way with the right information.
Yeah. So for me, it was like, okay, so he does have photographic proof that they are testing things like this that look very similar to what was reported in the sky. The photos that he has look like they're pretty recent. So is it something that have been working on and that's what was seen, or is it something that they are trying to replicate because it was something that was seen, so they're like trying to mimic what has already been seen? I don't know.
Again, that could go either way. It still is a very interesting concept to me.
Yeah.
That the government has reverse engineered so many technologies from, I'll say, otherworldly species, which could mean dimensions or time or whatever. I find it hard to believe that there would be no fail-safe to keep it from floating over a metropolitan area like Phoenix.
Yeah.
Somebody got fired that day.
Yeah, and to let it there's probably a lot of space in between where Area 51 is to the point where it's over Phoenix. That's a lot of time.
Yeah.
To catch up to this thing and fucking bring it down somehow. Like, it doesn't seem like it would be, if it's an inflatable type thing, 300 miles over 3 hours, that means it's only going about 100 miles an hour.
Yeah. But it just hovered when it was over Phoenix.
Yeah.
And it moved super, super slow. So is that like the point where they got control of it and they were trying to slow it down and redirect it? Or is the story just horseshit?
Well, I kind of wonder, what something that large would look like moving at 100 miles an hour. Does it look like it's just moving really slow because it's really fucking big? Or is it actually just moving really, really slow?
I would think if it's an inflatable, dirigible style, then it's going to move slow.
Yeah.
But that's only, from a human concept of that technology. You never see a blimp that's just zipping along. They just coast ever so slowly.
Well, I think that in that clip that I was watching, he says that these things are designed to be put into low Earth orbit, and they can travel like 17,000 miles an hour once they get into that space. Which is
17,000 miles an hour.
17,000 miles an hour is the speed of the Earth's spin.
Yeah.
So I think it would have to be able to travel at least that fast. Not just to be ripped apart by the atmosphere.
Yeah, because the air up there is going to be vastly thinner. But where it was like lower above Phoenix, because what did they say it was, like 2 miles up or something like that?
So this guy was saying there was people that were running or driving up to the peaks of where it was like going over and throwing rocks at it and being able to hit it. So it wasn't very high at all.
Very interesting. Yeah, I gotta watch this video.
Yeah.
I gotta find it. So let's go back to Superstition Mountain for a minute. Do you think that the creatures and the cryptids there are a real thing? Actually, let me rephrase that. So we've talked about Skinwalker Ranch a lot, and there are sightings of Bigfoot and skinwalkers and everything else there, and we're kind of on the same page that that stuff is real. It's really happening. Putting it through that lens, do you think it's the same at Superstition Mountain?
I think so. I think that, especially with them, the reports of seeing portals and stuff like that opening up, if the energy is such that it is manipulatable, to be able to open up a portal to another dimension, or could they just be interdimensional beings that are using this place that is naturally has the right type of energy for them to be able to open up these portals or whatever? I think that, they're probably a physical, real thing that people are seeing.
I tend to think so. And it totally discredits my own theory about transient magnetic waves and EMF radiation. That was just something I kind of played with because I have to juxtapose with something logical before I can just go, it's something fantastical. Like, you have to play devil's advocate with yourself and just discern for yourself. So that's why I kind of had to put it through that lens. I absolutely do think that stuff is real. But I think there is some kind of direct parallel from that place to Skinwalker Ranch and to Mount Shasta.
Yeah.
And it's funny when you look at the occurrences and all the things that happen at these three places simultaneously. You have portals, Bigfoot sightings, cryptids, extinct animals, paranormal visions, ghosts and stuff like that. And then sometimes just the weird curveballs like the fucking Nazgul dragon thing. And it's so strange that they're all so similar, but just with slight variations.
I think, to me, the thing that's really interesting is the makeup of the ground, right?
Yeah.
What's creating this energy type vortex area in these locations? Are they similar to each other? And if they are, can we recreate that somehow?
Well, I think that's the ticket, and I still haven't fully delved into Mount Shasta, so I can't say anything about that. But knowing all of the quartz that's in the ground and the other naturally occurring elements, like the iron or even the turquoise and topaz that are in there, that creates some kind of perfect makeup for whatever's happening. Then you look at it from Skinwalker Ranch, where they've been trying to drill into the mesa for years to see what these anomalous spots are. One of them is enormous. What if, instead of the popular theory of that being like an alien spaceship or a military base, what if that is a huge piece of quartz? Yeah. And that's something I'm still trying to delve into, because the quartz plays a factor. And we've seen that in other anomalous spots in the world, the pyramids and things like that. So it's like I'm still delving into that. I kind of think that because this is going to be kind of a mini series of however many episodes it takes, at the end I'm going to share all the things that I'm working on, because the quartz is part of that, and I got some maps and stuff that I'm working on, but it's like I want to get all the information out first.
Yeah. Even in like paranormal ghost hunting type stuff, quartz plays a huge role in like storing energy. So the makeup of the building, you know, if there's a lot of high content of quartz under the ground or in the building itself, limestone, the different materials that are used to make these places, it seems like really do have an effect on people experiencing things in these locations. So it's like, it seems the reason that like if we're making these structures and unbeknownst to us we're making them out of these materials that are conductive of these energies that haven't really been looked at before. We just like happened to make it out of this material because it was like in the area.
Yeah.
Why wouldn't it be the same thing where these things are just being found naturally, like they're in their natural state, they're like that, so they're just creating these energy hotspots or like vortexes, whatever you want to call them. I don't know, it seems plausible to me.
Well, even looking at the crystal skulls, like a couple of those are made from quartz, cut against the grain with no tool marks, or the work that's being done in the tech world where quartz is becoming a new system of data storage.
Yeah.
Like, I don't know if you've seen it, there's like one quartz storage unit that it will hold like the entirety of the human knowledge on this one little tiny piece of quartz.
Really?
Yeah, it's insane. So...
Well, humans are pretty fucking stupid.
We are pretty... I mean, I'm Kryptonian, but from an outside perspective, humans are kind of silly.
Yes, humans are pesky little...
Just... what was the other... Oh, like Reiki. You know, we all look at Reiki as like a woo-woo thing. I don't. I think there's more to it. I just don't... I don't think, you know, your cousin that you never talked to who has blue hair is a specialist in it. You know what I mean? Nothing against anybody, but I think there's something to it, and especially the use of crystals within that field. There's something realistic to it.
Yeah, I definitely think that even stuff like Reiki and these more psychedelic type belief systems or energy manipulation type of things there's so much information to be learned about those things that, like, even if you're like a Reiki master, these people that are Reiki masters that do these energy healings and stuff like that, they have to be akin to, say, a doctor in the medical field. Where, like, you're a neurosurgeon, you're probably a great neurosurgeon, but I've got something going on with my foot.
Yeah.
You know? Yeah. What's wrong with my foot? I don't know. I could dissect your brain, but I have nothing. I
don't know how fucking tendons work.
Tendons and shit like that. So, to me, that's what it's probably. You're learning on a certain pathway, and then you're getting this knowledge of this vein of information that you're following, and then meanwhile there's a whole body of work around this vein, this one vein that you're specializing on. That's the way that I look at it anyways.
Well, I 100% agree. Plus I don't think we have enough collective knowledge as humans to actually fully understand the power of crystals.
Yeah.
I think because it's so stigmatized as woo-woo and all that mainstream scientists, they're not going to put a lot of effort into it. Especially because of, like Travis Taylor says, we bottleneck science so much that we took the human element out of it. And things like belief systems or, you know, spiritual energy and all that don't play a factor in science. But we should be looking at it from a different perspective if we want to understand it. We can't just say, yeah, I'm a scientist, this rock doesn't do anything.
Yeah.
Like, do you actually know that?
It's a rock. That's what it is.
He's like, Well, I've measured it with all the tools that I know of to measure it with, and it does nothing. Like, okay, maybe you need different tools.
Maybe the tools haven't been invented yet to measure what it's actually doing there.
That's the ticket right there. It's you can only look at it through the scope of what you understand.
Exactly.
Which is why to kind of beat up on ghost hunting again. It's like a lot of people are using an EMF detector to try to detect ghosts. And it's like, do you know that it detects a ghost? No, you don't. You don't know that it doesn't either, because you don't actually understand A, what you're looking for, or B, the tool that you're using.
Exactly.
That's the problem. So
I think that we can, there are so many things to solve in these multitude of questions that we've just been throwing up into the air. And if, somebody's out there has got some information for us or something to look into along these lines, let us know.
for sure, put on your turquoise bracelet and
Your
hit us up.
Western style hat. I think I might have this thing on backwards.
I know, so I'm not a hat guy anyway, but this is...
I think that you should be.
Sure, yeah, I think I'm rocking it.
Yeah.
I could kill people in this.
Yeah. Put on a gun belt. I think you could be Doc Holliday for sure.
I'm a daisy if I do.
You could be my Huckleberry.
Absolutely. I think I'm just having a problem because they tilt my head back and the back of the head bumps into my hoodie.
Not used to that.
But, cowboys didn't famously wear hoodies.
True, and that's why they all wear their hat like this.
Yeah. But I'm sure you'd be grateful for it, if you're on horseback and in the roasting sun and keeping that sun off the back of your neck.
Yeah, I'd get
Maybe that's where the term redneck came from.
Probably.
Could be. I mean, I don't think you'd get a redneck from cousin fucking unless you're doing it in the sun. And I know those two terms are related.
Yeah. Me personally, if I was going to do cousin fucking, I'd want it to be in the sunshine. Just for the experience.
I'd want it to be in the dark, so I could just have plausible deniability. I didn't know it was my cousin. The fact that she was like, yeah, give it to me, cuz, is unrelated.
Yeah.
Anyway. Yeah, we've got so much more to cover.
Get that shit, brother!
Pound it, brother. Shit, that's the wrong sibling. Yeah, we've got so much to cover in this, mini-series thing, but I really like this.
Yeah.
And we have to be very directional about it because there's so much shit.
Yeah, it was a hard web to weave, to pluck those strings one at a time without, grabbing it all and pulling it in.
Yeah. Plus, it's kind of a good soft launch for when we do Utah.
Yeah.
Because I think Utah honestly has more.
I'd be willing to bet that if you really look into each state individually, we might be able to do a whole series on just every state one at a time.
We can really just stretch the longevity of this show.
Yeah. There's at least we're doing 3 or 4 episodes on Arizona.
Yeah, or however many it takes.
However many it takes. Yeah.
So you guys will have to stay tuned for the whole series. It's going to be a while.
Yeah, we're going to be talking about this shit until at least next year. There's 51 states?
Oh.
52 now, maybe.
Well, there's 50.
Yeah.
Until we buy Canada, and that'll be 51, and then Greenland will be 52.
Yeah. Well, I was throwing Puerto Rico in there.
Oh. Well, if you're going to do that, you got to throw Guam in there, too.
Dang, how many states do we have?
Well, the U.S. owns Puerto Rico and Guam.
Right.
But they have their, I don't want to say government, because it's not really a government situation. They do what the U.S. tells them, with the illusion of them being the government. It's like a weird reverse independent municipality thing. We're great at just taking people over.
Yeah. Venezuela, maybe.
Coming for you next. But yeah, with that said, I don't really feel like we solved anything, but we weren't meant to.
We uncovered a bunch of stuff.
A ton.
I mean, I bet a lot of people here have never even heard of the Superstition mountain range.
I didn't.
Yeah.
And
the
this
reason
is
why I did is because I'm weird and just look at random shit online all the time.
it's another one of those shockers for me. As much as like my bread and butter is weird shit and conspiracy, and when I find something I've never heard of that's that magnitude, I'm like,
All right, we're looking at Sedona and Phoenix here, and then fucking Superstition Mountains comes in.
it was a shocker, one might say. That was a good one. Anyway, let's pull it there, Doctor.
Doctor.
Until next time.